Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Butterfly Book Club. Make sure you have subscribed. Today we are reading The Little Things, written by Trimmer and illustrated by Kaylani Juanita. A little girl who much preferred the look of 3 pigtails to 2, and who loved the way wet sand squished between her toes, walked down the dock the day after a mighty storm. There on the beach were thousands of sea stars washed ashore by the violent waves. She raced to one and tossed it back into the ocean, and quickly picked up another and another and another, ushering each back into the safety of the water. Just then, an old man who had the habit of misplacing his glasses, and who also loved the way wet sand squished between his toes, came by. "What are you doing, little girl?" he asked. "What do you mean, what am I doing?" shouted the girl who liked 3 pigtails and sand between her toes. She also had a strong sense of self. "I am saving these sea stars." I, I was The old man was taken aback. "It's just, there are so many sea stars. What's the point? You won't be able to save them all." "Of course I can't save them all," replied the little girl. She carefully tossed another sea star into the ocean. "But I saved that one, didn't I?" The old man had to admit the little girl had a point. He picked up a sea star and placed it back in the water. Later that day, the old man headed to the animal shelter with his grandson, who liked butter on his noodles and brightly colored shoelaces. "What are we doing here, Grandpa?" asked the little boy. "I'm going to rescue a dog," the old man replied. The boy looked around. There were many animals who needed rescuing after the storm. "Taking home one dog isn't going to make much of a difference," he said. "That may be so," his grandpa replied, "but it sure will make a difference to this little guy, don't you think?" The little boy had to admit that his grandpa had a point. The next day, after lunch of buttered noodles, the boy headed to his neighbor's house. There lived an elderly lady who had once been a professional dancer and who loved butterflies. "I'm here to clean up your garden," the little boy said to the elderly lady. The storm had torn up her flower beds and tossed garbage all over her yard. "That would be lovely," replied the elderly lady, doing a graceful plie. As the little boy worked, a teenager who listened to classical music very loudly on her headphones, and who just couldn't be bothered, happened by. "Hey, kid," she said, taking off her headphones. "What are you doing?" "I'm cleaning up this lady's yard," he replied. "Look around, kid. The storm messed up this whole block. What's the point of clearing one yard?" asked the teenager, even though the kid was doing a good job. Not that she'd ever say that to him. The elderly lady chimed in. "This little boy has done more than just clean my yard, young lady," she said. "He has lifted my spirits. You could learn a thing or two from him." The elderly lady had a point, though the teenager would never admit that out loud. Still, she gave the woman a nod and the little boy a high five. The next morning, the teenager packed an extra lunch and gave it to the homeless man outside the coffee shop, even though she knew there were many in need of a meal. Then a little girl with one missing front tooth and another wiggly one took all of the money she had received from the tooth fairy and gave it to charity, and she wiggled the other tooth to help it along. That little girl's mom, who made scrumptious cupcakes, gooey brownies, and mouth-watering cookies, along with some equally delicious gluten-free options, quickly organized a fundraiser. which inspired a young man with a great sense of style and real acting chops to volunteer at the school, which moved a whole class of students to donate their time to fix up a house that had been damaged by the storm, which led to more ideas, more generosity, more kindness, and more action. Not too long after that, another storm moved through the town. The next morning, the little girl with 3 pigtails raced to the end of the dock, only to find... The little girl walked up to the old man and gently tapped him on the shoulder. "Now do you get it?" she asked. And the old man did. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Check out our other videos at the Butterfly Book Club on youtube.com, and also click the link in our bio to check out our website that has free learning materials that go along with all of our book read-alouds. Again, please make sure you subscribe.